Before we get into today's episode, I want to make you aware of a poll that is going to be up in the top corner somewhere, asking you about the release time of the videos in this series. I'm conscious 9 o'clock might be a little bit late, and it certainly does seem to affect the views this week compared to how we were doing last week when we were out at 4 o'clock, and the weekend episodes that are out at 4 o'clock as well. So have a vote in the poll, let me know what you think. I'm not necessarily promising anything will change, but if there's an overwhelming consensus that 7 o'clock in the evening is better than 9 o'clock, then it's probably a change that we'll look to make, just to make it a little bit easier for everyone to keep up with both series that we've got going here on the channel. Now let's play some Football Manager. Hello and welcome to part 28 of Backing the Boro. I'm Kev, and coming up on today's episode, we're at home against Hereford and then at home against Chester, both in the National League North, and it's a National League North that we are now utterly dominating again. We're 9 points clear, just past the halfway point, 9 points clear with a game in hand and a goal difference of 46. Tyrone Marsh has already scored 26 goals this season from 24 appearances in all competitions, 21 from 18 in the league. He scored 4 goals in a match recently. He's an absolute monster. He is injured at the moment, I think. Is it him who's injured? Yeah, he's pulled his knee ligaments. So let's not get too excited about Tyrone Marsh. But Ayula came in and got 2 goals in the following game. So it looks like we've just got a ready-made replacement who can slot straight in. And, I mean, that's how things have been. That little slip-up that we had in the last episode, or going into the last episode aside, and we've gone back into the league and just picked up where we left off up here, and we are winning games again, looking good again, and hopefully we should surely be able to make it out of this league this year. So this is the team that we're putting out there today for the first game against Hereford. It is the 2nd of January 2021. And we've got Linus in goal, Lewis, Grimes, Stone. I don't know why I told you the date. I don't usually do that. My hair is weighing down on my brain. I can't think properly. I've got so much 90s hair now. Lewis, Grimes, Stone and Bertrand back 4. Smith, Wheatley, Brundle and Hornsby in midfield, with McQueen and Ayula up front. Sedwin Scott, who was supposed to be the man when he came in, scouts and coaches when he first arrived thought he was the best of the 4 strikers that we signed in the summer, but he got injured almost straight away. He's just got 1 goal from 3 substitute appearances so far, but in light of the injury to Marsh, Ayula and McQueen start, and it does mean that Scott gets an opportunity from the bench. We will look to get him involved. Marsh is only out for 2 or 3 weeks. I want to see Sedwin Scott in that time, just to see if he's going to be any good. He's a different kind of striker. He's a big target man. Offers us something in the air rather than a little pacey guy like the other 3 strikers that we've got. Pacey and quick, and score lots of goals, which is all good. Sedwin Scott could be our plan B. Right, it's not going well. Let's hump it up to the big lad. Wheatley's injured. That's problematic. So problematic, I'm going to sneeze. Future Kev, I hope you caught that and it didn't make it in. If it did make it in, I apologise to headphone wearers. But presumably you've already unsubscribed at this point if I did just sneeze in your ears. Right. Continue. Go about the rest of the match. Tom Elliott is on. Wheatley is off. Elliott is no longer unhappy that we tried to sign a replacement for him in the summer, by the way. He is still unhappy that he's not getting enough football. I don't get it. He's getting loads of football. He's played pretty much... He's certainly been involved in every game since the 2nd or 3rd week of the season when he started moaning. So... I don't know, it's a weird one. He just seems to like having a little bit of a moan, but yet again he's back in the team now, despite my best efforts to not play him. Wheatley decided to get an injury, so he had to get in. Right, I'd like to push on a little bit and grab a goal here. This is at the wrong end. Linus is an absolute superstar goalkeeper at this level. There's been a few people who don't seem to rate Dean Linus as a goalkeeper, and I know if he was that good, he probably would have moved on from Nuneaton at this point, but his shot stopping is absolutely remarkable. For a non-league goalkeeper, and I know he's got a few faults, but shot stopping certainly isn't one of them, and just that save that he just made there. Goalkeepers at this level don't make that save. Linus does, and I think he is a difference maker. He's one of the few Nuneaton originals that we've still got lying around the club. So I need to talk about him in a positive light, because when I eventually go back to the club, he'll be the one I can say, Dean, I really like you. I say nice things about you. Come and say nice things about me on a video. and everyone else will just scowl at me from the other side of the dressing room because they know I've sold them because I didn't think they were good enough for the league they play in real life. McQueen has just hit the frame of the goal, and Hornsby, I mean, that smelled suspiciously of penalty to me, but apparently not. Elliott with the fancy pants corner, and Brundle with the chance to shoot from the edge of the area. I mean, what was that? That looked like we'd been training corners. Has somebody been training corners and not telling me? I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean, there's a chance. Past Kev did it before Christmas and has now forgotten about it, but it doesn't feel like the sort of thing I'd do. Did I mention training corners at some point? You lot have seen the recent videos far more recently than I recorded them. Right, as suggested, we are going to make the change. We're going to bring Scott on. We're going to bring him on as a target man. He wants to be a target man on attack. That seems a little bit too extravagant for my tastes. Hornsby's got an injury as well, so we'll bring on Worrell Bristow. And I don't know, do we need to add a team instruction now we've got a target man, or do we just assume everyone knows cross at the big lad? I think he's a big lad. He's not big, he's 5'10". Why is he a target man then? Oh, goodness me. I give up. I mean, if he scores a goal, I'll be absolutely fine. But if you imagine you're a Nuneaton fan, I've just bigged him up all as much as I have, and it turns out he's just another little 5'8" to 5'10" lad who's hopefully going to score goals. But he's no different. He's just a carbon copy of the other three. I'm just asking him to do something a little bit different. He could probably just as easily do the defensive forward role that McQueen was doing before. So really, he just needs to come on and be a bit special. Oh no, that's poor defending and, dare I say it, poor goalkeeping. After everything I said about him earlier on, it was kind of straight at him. That's terrible from Birch. And Linus, right. We are in danger of a defeat here. Hereford, I mean, they are third in the league. They're one of the better teams in the division. But we're going to lose to them. We're not even creating anything. We'd already used to pull our substitutions. And we're not the same team without Tyrone Marsh. That could be problematic. Hopefully we'll beat Chester and I can shoot back up into positivity again. Right, a couple of changes as we go into the Chester game then. Anderson is fit-ish, and he's so good we're going to bring him back into the team. I know he's not properly fit. It's only knee ligaments. What does he need knee ligaments for? But he's so much better than everyone else we've got at left back that we've just got to get him back into the side, especially when we need to come back from a win. Tom Elliott comes in for Wheatley. Wheatley has a hernia, is going to be out for the next 2 or 3 months, which is a bit of a problem, but I guess Tom Elliott might stop whinging if he's guaranteed to start for 3 months. And we're going to try Sedwin Scott starting the game in his preferred role. We need to have a proper look at him. So he's going to play as a target man on attack. We'll keep McQueen as defensive forward on support. Ayula drops down to the bench. Although he had that game where he scored a couple of goals, he hasn't been spectacular in any of the other games around it. So, I mean, he looks, I mean, looking at that record, it's another Ashley Chambers. He'll have games where he scores a bundle of goals and then be completely absent for 3 or 4 games again. And that's what we were trying to get away from this season. We don't want to get back into that world. So we'll drop him out of the team, let him think about what he's done, have a proper look at Scott. It might be that Scott's not any good. And as you can see from the bench, Tyrone Marsh is fit enough to be on the bench, although not really fit enough to come on. He's there more as a figurehead, a motivational figure than anything else. I think if we brought him on, we'd be asking for trouble. But, you know, sometimes you need a bit of trouble. So if we end up 3-0 down, too blowing right, we're bringing him on. Right, Brundle. What's he got up his sleeve? Finds Stone. That is not the man we want to have the ball in that position. But he finds Birch, who lumps it forward. And McQueen is in and forces the save at the keeper. McQueen still just doesn't score goals anymore. Ever since we made him captain, he's just stopped scoring goals altogether. He has become something of a creative force, which is why he's still in the team. But it's very much become a team that's built around Tyrone Marsh getting the goals and everyone else working towards giving him the ball to allow him to do that, which is why not having Marsh in the team was such a problem in the last game against Hereford. But hopefully we're not going to have a repeat of that against Chester. We're Chester in the league. I think they're much lower down, aren't they? So hopefully we should be able to find some goals from somewhere. You know, I've just messed with how we do the front two, so that's bound to lead to goals. All people have been saying in the comments is, Kev, don't mess with the tactic. Kev, don't fiddle. Kev, don't mess with the tactic. In my defence, our main striker's injured, which is why I've messed with it. But I could have just kept Ayula in again and not changed the way we play. But then, you know, I'm trying to be a proactive manager these days. You saw us do that in the last game, and we didn't look like scoring at any point. So I think this was an experiment worth having, and if it doesn't work, Marsh should be fit again for the next game, and he can come back in for that. Ooh, Chester are down to 10 men after 20 minutes. Easy now. We'll go and grab 4 or 5. We'll proclaim Scott the saviour and the hero, and it will turn out he can only score against 10 men. The one thing we've got in our favour is we're still so far clear at the top of the league. It's ridiculous. And was that Scott? It was Cedwyn Scott with an assist by assist machine Darren McQueen. Oh, that rhymes. That could be a song. McQueen is supposed to... I mean, he's a winger, officially. According to the little assistant manager best position thing, he's a left winger. So, in the spirit of fiddling, if Scott did turn out to be brilliant, McQueen is a winger, is a left winger. Tyrone Marsh is an accomplished right winger, although he's been an absolute goal machine for us at the moment up front. But if we did find ourselves... And I know you're all frantically typing, Kev, don't do it. Don't touch anything. You're 10 points clear of a game in hand. Kev, don't fiddle. I did just go back to standard for the second half because I fiddle now. But if Scott turned out to be really, really good and we wanted to play the three of them together, we could play Scott up front on his own, target man on attack, with McQueen and Marsh on either side of him as inside forwards. It's there as an option. Don't necessarily know that it would be a good option, but these two, perfectly capable of doing it. Right, Elliot is... In fact, should we take off Joe Anderson? We didn't obviously put someone on the bench because I didn't pick my subs. And we don't have anyone to come on in midfield because it's Tyrone Marsh. What was his injury? So only knee ligaments. Knee ligaments is fine. I mean, what's the worry with knee ligaments? We'll just bring on Ayula then, because I feel like I have to make a substitution. We'll bring him on as a poacher, drop him back to target man and support. And, I mean, there's not really much else in the way of substitutions I can make. I've backed myself into a corner, really, by not picking my own substitutes. Another common thing that people tell me I have to do. There you go, we'll bring our right back on the right-hand side of midfield, just because, why not? Should we drop down to counter-attacking at this point? I think we probably should. Oh, that's a lovely flick on from McQueen, and Scott really should have done better with that, but that was an absolutely beautiful little flick. I like Darren McQueen. I can see why the assistant manager decided he was a worthy captain for us. Why is Scott taking the corner? We've got our target man taking the corners. I don't understand. This game baffles me at times. Does it show? Right, Baxter can come on for Grimes. Or should we... I want to bring him on for Anderson, but I don't really want to risk playing a left-back who can't play at left-back when we're only 1-0 up and we really need to get back to winning ways. So that was a weird, weird goal kick. And I don't really get what we were trying to achieve with that. But let's have another go at getting the ball forward. And why are we just kicking it hard at Ayula? We've got a target man. If we're going to lump it forward, let's lump it at the target man. I'm getting frustrated with this too. Oh, that's why we don't kick it at him, because he can't win the ball in the air. But a ball over to the top to him. He's in behind, and Ayula's in the middle. And that is a good save, because it was a good header. And I felt like doing, what was Vince McMahon commentary from the mid-90s there. 1, 2, and no. Go watch 90s wrestling. I apologise if you're not a wrestling fan. However, if you are a wrestling fan, go and subscribe to Lollujo Wrestling. That was organic. I didn't even plan that one today. That's amazing. Right, have we won this football match yet? Oh no, we've got another terrible goal kick to come. Excellent stuff. Hey, we did win a match. We are 10 points clear somehow after what really was quite a disappointing episode performance-wise. We've ended up further clear at the top of the league than we started. So, can't really complain at that. 10 points clear of the game in hand. That'll do, I suppose. If you have enjoyed that, please make sure you leave a nice big thumbs up on there for me. Subscribe to the channel for daily Football Manager videos. And thank you very much for watching.